So I wanted to come at the angle of if I was a client and I wanted to, I was looking for more business opportunities and being able to be the tool maker for those larger companies, why would it be beneficial for me to join the GTMA, and what is it that you would be able to provide for me as a company that I necessarily wouldn't be able to provide for myself?
Okay, I'd like to say from the outset that we are a limited company. We don't receive any money from government or charities. Our income is largely directly from membership subscriptions and some other earnings. Therefore, if we don't deliver value to our members, they won't stay. And the proof of the pudding is in the eating. We have multi-generational family-owned companies who have been in the GTMA since its inception in the 1940s. So I guess that is a kind of proof that we deliver value. Of course, when companies restructure and people leave and there are different needs in companies, there is a churn, if you like, a number of companies who might leave for those reasons. But we don't sense that there is dissatisfaction amongst our members. However, complacency would kill us. We have to be active, proactive to serve our members, and so they're always looking at value. It's a bottom line cost on their accounts each year, and that value can come by direct sales off the back of GTMA introductions or GTMA leads that are pushed to the companies. And let's face it, this is what every company is looking for. If GTMA could generate a lead for every single member every single year, we'd be absolutely delighted. The reality is we are more likely with some or a large portion of our members to be able to generate opportunities rather than fixed or warm leads. And that comes through our networking capability as well. We run a number of GTMA events through the year for our members where external people are invited, and they often result in relationships which then result in work opportunities. We do a lot on the digital streams, so we promote actively on a daily and weekly basis on various platforms. We also promote via published magazines, e-copy as well as print copy, and we produce our own magazine, Supply Chain Solutions, twice a year, which we distribute at trade shows. We sit here in April of 2025. We've already represented our members at 6 events this year, so we are very active throughout the year in pushing our messages out there to the wider community and attracting business opportunities for our members.
And I'm assuming you found all of those methods extremely helpful, so the magazine and the social media, especially social media presence, seeing as it's just growing to be more and more prevalent every year. What's the sort of comparison between the effectiveness of all of those methods, or as a combination, has it really boosted the visibility of a lot of your clients or a lot of people you represent?
It definitely has helped. We're able to do a lot more than many of our members. Many of our members don't have dedicated activity on digital streams, and although they might do postings or run an occasional campaign or engage an external body to do that for them, we do a heck of a lot more. And quite often, in terms of search engine optimization, the GTMA page or representation of our member companies will appear on pages 1, 2, 3 of Google, where they as a company will not be able to achieve that without paid advertising, etc. So that's another benefit from being in a collective such as the GTMA. You have that group representation, so it has that draw, it has that trusted message out there. Come to the GTMA, come to our members, let us help you.
And do you have members that are just based in your specific area of where GTMA is based, or do you have them everywhere? And does the proximity of where you're based matter?
The proximity doesn't matter. We are UK and Ireland. That's where we operate. So we have members right across the different parts of the UK, and we try to increasingly arrange events that are relevant to those different geographic parts of the UK. So last year we ran our first event in Scotland, which was very successful, a small networking event. These are not big trade shows, they are more desktop demonstrations with maybe a presentation or two, and it's an opportunity for our members to attract their current and future clients to those events to be represented. This year we are in June, we're in Limerick in Ireland at Technical University of the Shannon for a 2-day event. We have over 120 exhibitors at that event. It will be huge. And then later on in the year we're running our first ever event in Northern Ireland in Belfast. So we're constantly reassessing, going back to your previous question, that balance between the digital offering and the physical offering. You do business with people and people need to be represented. So if the companies are not able to be represented directly, we do that for them. We very much talk up the capability and the services our members can offer. So we're another business development arm of our members.
So what you're saying is the things that I necessarily as a client wouldn't be able to do or wouldn't have the time for is trying to stay current and update with what everybody needs at that current moment and where everybody is, and that's the kind of thing that you'd be able to find out and do for me, essentially.
Yes, I think particularly relevant with emerging or changing markets, and that's definitely been a theme over the last 4 to 5 years with international global events and disruption to supply chains. Different markets have become available. With what's going on around the world at the moment, defence markets are quite buoyant. So how do we as a company get into defence? So when that question comes up, we need to be armed with the information. So we have the key entry points. We know people within those top echelon companies and the government organisations that we're able to introduce our members to and help that kind of development of the relationships towards business. More recently, nuclear and space telecoms have been sectors that are available in terms of manufacturers, but less known. And so it's really important for us to research and develop that market intelligence, which we share with our members through our market reports monthly and also through the supply chain solutions. So it's additionality. We're not doing anything that our members couldn't do were they to have the resources on board. We're just an extension of their personality, if you like.
Okay, so the analogy comes up that you're the ones that sniff out the pies and then you put people's fingers into those pies, essentially.
I guess I like that.
Yes,
I'll use that in the future. That's it. That's definitely how we operate. We definitely do not take part in any of the commercial arrangements.
Right.
We ran a project last year for an international aerospace company on intelligent jigs and fixtures. As a result of that, we know that 3 of our members are now on the preferred supplier list where they weren't before. That's our job done. Our job is not to provide work for our members. We cannot get involved in commercial discussions. That would be inappropriate. It's the introductions, it's the validation, it's that greater messaging that the GTMA can do.